So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. So as usual we will be discussing Indian Express, we will be taking the most important article of the day, and other than that I have seen a comment about the editorial analysis. I have made it clear earlier as well that in a small span of time we won't be able to cover editorial analysis here, but there is a dedicated series for editorial analysis on Drishti IAS channel. You can go and watch videos over there. Okay, it will take around some 20 minutes of the video or less than that, where we will cover the editorial analysis. Okay, so now coming back to the today's session, we will start with the practice question which was given to you, and then we will move towards the important article, that is one related to Viksit Bharat guarantee ki gaadi. Okay, so there is this you can say scheme, or you can say a yatra which has been started by our government related to the beneficiaries. Okay, all those people who are still outside the welfare schemes, we are trying to include all those people inside the government scheme, or let's say if they are eligible for that schemes, we are trying to generate some kind of awareness that they are also eligible for it and they can enter into it. Okay, so you can say it is a awareness as well as the drive for the beneficiary to add under Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. So basically it is a inclusion drive. Okay, then drop in NPAs. So non-performing assets has been dropping for like 3-4 years since past. So now we will be taking the data from the last year and comparing with the today's or at present data. Okay, then PM Kisan. So in this particular scheme PM Kisan, there is this decline in the beneficiaries number. Okay, so we will see why there is a decline. Other than that, we will also include the important aspect of the PM Kisan. Okay, then moving further, we will be seeing some world affairs, and I will give one article for your read which we have already discussed. Okay, then practice question for your next episode. So now let's have a look at the front page. Here, avoid mistakes, win hearts, Rajnath to troops after JNK civilian death. So we have discussed this issue wherein some civilians has died in JNK in the custody, and because of which our defense minister said that avoid such mistakes and win hearts. Okay, win the confidence of the people living over there. Okay. So this article, there is assured kin that nobody can bring back those who died. Justice will be done. Okay, there is some kind of inquiry should be there. Okay. After that, Putin invites Modi to Russia, says kept him posted on the Ukraine situation. So basically, this visit by S. Jaishankar is important. Other than that, this meeting per se is important, wherein President of Russia has met with the Minister of External Affairs of India. Okay, generally he does not go for meeting ministers which are coming from abroad, but at this particular visit he has met with the Minister of External Affairs S. Jaishankar. So that is why this particular meeting per se is significant, because it shows the importance of India for Russia. Okay, so we will look into it, and after that PM Kisan beneficiaries dwindling, government adds 34 lakh in the special drive. So when we are talking about this Viksit Bharat Yatra, under that Yatra they have included 34 lakh farmers in that particular scheme, but overall if we see, the data has been showing that there are decline in the beneficiaries. Okay, so we will have a look at it and see the reason for it. Okay, so let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the last class. Which of the following countries does not share a border with Israel? Okay, so we have I have seen your answer. Most of you have given answers as the C and D. So answer C and D both are correct. Okay, there was some kind of let's say mistake here. So answer C and D are correct, because the two countries does not share border with Israel. Here you can see. So this is Israel, this is Egypt, Jordan, then Syria and Lebanon. Okay, so Syria, this area of Golan Heights used to belong to Syria, but that it was captured by Israel in 1967 war. Okay, so these four countries make a border with Israel. Okay, other than that there are three water bodies I can say. These three water bodies have border with Israel, that is, one is Mediterranean Sea, second is your Gulf of Aqaba, or you can say Red Sea, extended part of Red Sea, and then third is this Dead Sea. Okay, Red Sea and Dead Sea and Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so these three water bodies have border with Israel, and there are four countries: Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, which forms land boundaries with Israel. Okay, now moving further, we'll see position of Iran and Iraq. Here you can see this is the position of Israel, and then this is the position of Iraq and then Iran. Okay, so these two confusing names were given in this particular question because Iran has made some kind of claim or threat that they will be controlling the Mediterranean. If you have seen all in the news that Iran has made some threat, so you might have this confusion that Iran might have a boundary with Mediterranean, but Iran does not have a boundary with Mediterranean. Okay, so that is why Iran does not have a boundary with Israel as well. So here it is clear. We have seen the options. Now you can see the question again. So C and D, Iran and Iraq does not share boundary with Israel. So that would be your right answers. Now starting with the first article of the day, that is related to visit which has been done by S. Jaishankar to Russia. Here Putin invites Modi to Russia, says has kept him posted on Ukraine situation. So after this war started in Ukraine in 2022, after that he has said that we have been in contact and we have communicated the situation in Ukraine. Okay, and I know that he wants the peaceful solution for that as well. This has been recognized by the President Putin. Okay, so let's see, despite the turbulence in the world, ties with friends progressing. So here we are talking about the turbulences related to, let's say, this Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, so on this particular matter of the war, West and Russia are divided, and India is trying to maintain a balance between West and the Russia. Now the thing is, when we are talking about the West, mostly we are talking about the European countries as well as USA. Okay, so USA is against Russia in this particular attack which has happened. USA has gone for sanctions, etc. But India is having a balanced approach towards this. India is saying that you should go for dialogue and diplomacy and not for the war. He has said that this is not an era of war. Okay. Prime Minister Modi said to Putin that it is not an era of war, so you should go for peaceful solution through diplomacy and dialogue. Okay, but the thing is, after that we have seen this Ukraine Russia issue. After that, now we are seeing this Israel Hamas issue. Okay, so ultimately in this year we have seen that there are two wars going on. Okay, we don't know what is the future which lies ahead. So when we are talking about the Middle East, the future is uncertain as of now. Okay, so despite all the turbulences happening in the world, relation between traditional friends in Asia with India, the Indian people are developing progressively. Okay, we will be glad to see our friend Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Russia. We will be able to discuss all the current issues and talk about the prospect for the development of Russia-India relations. This is what the statement which has been made by President Putin. Okay. Now moving further, Jaishankar's meeting with the Putin is considered significant since Russian president does not usually visit or meet foreign ministers. Okay, which I told you earlier as well. And he understands that there is a domestic situation in India considering the polls in 2024. Okay, and then I know his desire to do everything to resolve this problem through peaceful means. Okay. India-Russia relations remains very steady and very strong because we have a strategic convergence, we have import dependence on Russia, we have defense related imports which mostly 60 to 70% comes from Russia. Then there is the issue of oil as well, because we are buying cheap oil from Russia. Okay, because of that we have a quite strategic convergence on various issues, as well as we have a partnership which is quite important for us. Okay, so strategic convergence, geopolitical interest, and mutually beneficial. These terms you can remember for your exam, because writing such technical terms will give you extra marks. Okay, based on the mutual respect and not subjected to political fluctuations. Okay, whenever we are talking about the domestic politics, whatever party has been in power, the relations with Russia has always been friendly. Okay, so because of this, you can say, political fluctuations, we do not have any kind of issue with Russia here. Okay, this is important at a time when Russia-Ukraine war has polarized the world, and Delhi has continued to buy Russia's oil at the discounted prices. Okay, we have discussed this earlier as well. India is also heavily dependent on Russia for defense supplies, and nearly 60 to 70% we procure from Russia. Okay. Other than that, now Russia is eager to cooperate on the production of this advanced, you can say, weaponry with India. Okay, but he has also said Moscow is respectful of India's aspiration to diversify its military and technical cooperation. So Russia is saying that yes, we want to cooperate with you on collaborate with you in manufacturing sector as well, considering the production of weaponry. But we respect that you, if you want to diversify as well. Okay, so Russia understands our thin line on which we are walking, maintaining balance, etc. So that is what here it is given there. Okay, the interest of maintaining security in the Eurasian continent. Okay, so this is the issue when we are talking about Ukraine, or other than that also Russia's Far East, etc. So we are what we are trying to do here is that we are cooperating on various prospects here. Okay, sorry, we are cooperating on the various prospect here when we are talking about Russia and India relations. We are talking about military maritime security, we are talking about connectivity with the far east of Russia. Okay, and we are ready to support the initiative to produce the military products at part of made in India. As I told you, they are willing to cooperate on this. Okay, India Russia bilateral trade is at all time high and crossed $50 billion turnover last year. Okay, this is a fact. If you want to remember it, you can remember and reproduce in the exam. Okay, so now this is about India Russia relations, or you can say the present meeting or the current meeting which has happened in Russia with President Putin. Okay, yesterday we have talked about Russia's Far East. Okay, so this is the map of Russia, and this area which this area here, this is basically far east of Russia. This is Sea of Okhotsk, which is in correlation of Pacific Ocean, you can say northern Pacific. Okay, so this is Japan. So this area here, it is considered Russia's Far East because there is the lack of connectivity here. So that is why. Okay, this is some kind of the population density is here is very less. Okay, that is why this is also known as Russia's Far East area, and now we are trying to build some kind of connectivity to this particular area. Okay, and why is that important? Because currently whatever we are whatever trade we are having it through the this route of, let's say, from Russia to Baltic Sea, North Sea, and then Mediterranean, Suez Canal, and then to Red Sea, and then Arabian Sea. Okay, so this is the route we are following currently. Okay, so now there is this alternative multi-modal route, okay, which is proposed and under consideration, that is north south transport corridor. Okay, so here you can say starting from Russia, other than that we will move through the this Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan, Iran, then towards India. Okay, so this is north south transport corridor which is proposed. Other than that, there is another sea route which has been in the news, that is from Chennai to Vladivostok. Okay, to from Chennai to Vladivostok. So this is connecting the far east of Russia. Okay, so since we have discussed all these things in yesterday's paper related to the connectivity, building connectivity with India to Russia, so that is why it is important. So I have taken this right now. Now moving to the second article related to governance, there is this yatra which has been started, Viksit Bharat event, you can say. Okay, or as it has been popularly known as Guarantee Ki Gadi. Okay, so this is for the, you can say, inclusion and awareness generation about the government or welfare schemes. Okay, so basically the aim here is that whoever is left out of these welfare schemes just because they did not know it, okay, or because of any reason which says that government scheme would have some kind of red tapeism, corruption, etc., that is why they will not get a chance to get into it. Okay, so this yatra address those issues, that they are saying that these schemes are for those people who are targeted beneficiaries. If they are eligible, they can get into it. Okay, so in this particular article they have mentioned few schemes which can be important for you, and that is why I have taken this article. Okay, people don't need to resort to bribes to avail the welfare schemes. Earlier there was this thing, if you want a pension, or if you want to enter into any kind of social service or any kind of welfare related schemes, you have to pay to the government officials. Okay, this was the case long back, but now our government is saying that people don't have to resort to bribe. Okay, now they are coming to your doorways. Okay, so Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra has been started, a campaign that seeks to cover those who are left out of the government's flagship welfare schemes. Okay, so in this scheme they have in this particular article they have talked about few schemes, that is, one is your Ujjwala. Okay, so Ujjwala scheme is related to your LPG cylinders or LPG gas cylinders. So in this particular thing they have additionally provided some 4.5 lakh new connections. Okay, then Ayushman cards are there. Okay, so they have generated nearly 1 crore extra cards, which are basically for your let's say health related prospects. Okay, 1.25 crore health checkups has been conducted in this particular drive, and then 70 lakh people has been screened for TB. Okay, after that 15 lakh people has been tested for the sickle cell anemia. So these two things. Okay, other than that PM Kisan has also been in news regarding this particular yatra only. So we will talk about that in the next you can say slide. 2 crore Lakpati Didis in next 3 years. Okay, so basically this is you can say aspirational target which has been set by our government to build 2 crore Lakpati Didis. So basically this is for the women's empowerment. Okay, to make sure that some women come forward with the entrepreneurship and do some businesses, and they are converted into Lakpatis. Okay, so this is has been covered in this article. So these schemes would be important for you, that Ujjwala, Ayushman card, PM Kisan. So you have to give special attention to these schemes. Okay, when we are talking about Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, the focus of the yatra will be on reaching out the people, creating awareness and providing benefit of the welfare schemes. Okay, what are the welfare schemes? Whatever schemes which are connected to sanitation of facilities, essential financial services, electricity connections. Okay, then there is this LPG cylinders related schemes, housing for poor, food security, proper nutrition, reliable health care, clean drinking water, etc. So the thing is, government is saying that we have schemes for all these issues. These are the basic issues which are which has been facing by people in the hinterland. Okay, so all these schemes are there for resolution of the difficulties which is being faced by the people. So we are generating awareness and trying to get more and more people included in under such schemes. Okay, the yatra will start from the district with significant tribal population. So the preference you can say yatra will start from the tribal population related areas, and then it will go to cover all the district across the country. Okay, now moving further, PM Kisan beneficiaries dwindling. Government adds 34 lakh special drive. Here when we are talking about the data, when this scheme started, we have seen that there was slow increase, then there was a stagnancy, and then it reduced for a while, and then this was the peak when in April July 2022 we have seen 10.47 crore farmers enrolled in this particular scheme. Okay, but then we have seen a trend of declining, and right now we have 8.12 crore farmers under this particular scheme. Okay, so we are saying that why there is this decline. Okay, so there are some reasons, there are few reasons that there is a condition, or you can say there is a necessity. When you are availing this scheme, you are supposed to integrate your land records with the you can say land record and the Aadhaar detail, etc., with your bank account. Okay, so here you can say the reason was in the introduction of the mandatory land ceding provisions. Okay, so you have to go for the giving this land records to the government, and then second thing is ceding of Aadhaar with their active bank account. So basically the objective here was that if you are giving this land records and Aadhaar details with the bank account, okay, so we will directly give you that benefit. Okay, so there is this way of transferring money, or you can say financial incentive directly into the account, that is direct benefit transfer, DBT. Okay, So objective was that if we seed this land records and the Aadhaar details with the account, we will directly give you money in the or the installments which has been fixed under the scheme directly into their bank accounts. Okay. But farmers has been skeptical about it, because of which there was a reduce in the beneficiary count. Okay. So here the reason was introduction of the mandatory land seeding provision and seeding of Aadhaar with their bank account to ensure that the benefits are transferred directly into the intended beneficiaries account. Okay. So that was the objective, but since farmers are quite attached to their land, other than that there is the lack of awareness, education, etc. So there was this they are kind of skeptical because of this particular thing, and that is why there is a reduction in the count. Okay. So efforts are done on bringing the eligible or vulnerable farmer under this particular scheme. Okay. So in this Sankalp Yatra, 34 lakh farmers has been again connected with this particular scheme. Okay. So that is why it was talked about in the news with respect to the count of beneficiaries as well as the Sankalp Yatra. Okay. Here you can see the Yatra launched on the November 15th, 6 months ahead of the elections to the Lok Sabha, will run till 26th of January. Okay. So this is the timeline of the Yatra. Okay. And to ensure all intended beneficiaries are covered under the various flagship schemes of the government, we have talked about it. Okay. In this particular Yatra, we have included some 34 lakh farmers under this PM Kisan Yojana. So let's have a look at the PM Kisan, what PM Kisan is. Okay. So Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. Okay. So Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, that is PM Kisan, it was launched on 24th of February 2019. Okay. So in this scheme, there are financial assistance of 6,000 rupees which will be given to the landholders, okay, or the farmers who are having a land holding. Now this 6,000 rupees will be given to you in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees, okay, at every 4 months. Okay. So that is the scheme or the aim behind the scheme, that we will be helping the farmers which are in having some kind of land holding. When we started this scheme, there was this condition that we will be those farmers who will be eligible under the scheme, okay, they should have a land holding, okay, up to 2 hectares, or you can say anything up less than 2 hectares. Such farmers will be eligible for being a beneficiary of this scheme. Okay. But then afterwards it has been extended to cover all the land holding farmers. Okay. So that is about this scheme. That any farmer having a land holding, which will be given 6,000 rupees of incentive or the financial aid per year. Okay. And this 6,000 rupees will be given to you in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees at every 4 months. Okay. The mode of transfer would be direct benefit transfer into your account. Okay. So that is about PM Kisan, and this is the central sector scheme, and 100% of the funding would be from the government of India, that is central government. Okay. So you can look at this particular scheme and add it into your notes. Okay. The same thing has been given over here. So when this scheme started, the number of beneficiaries was 3.3 crore. Okay. In the April, July last year, it was 10.47 crore as I mentioned, and right now it is nearly some 8.12 crore. Okay. So that is about PM Kisan. Moving further, convict has right to have a child. So basically there was this case which has come before the High Court, wherein a person who has been sentenced a life sentence, okay, because of the case of murder, he has asked for a parole, saying that he want to undergo some test related to, let's say, in vitro fertilization. So basically they are trying to conceive a child. Okay. So he asked for a parole. Okay. So here High Court has said that a convict does not become a lesser citizen only due to the incarceration. Okay. So basically if someone is convicted, doesn't mean he has been lesser than a citizen. Okay. He has his rights. Okay. So here it is a natural desire to for an individual to have a biological children which can add value and meaning to their life. Okay. So when we are talking about Article 21 of our Constitution, that say talk about right to life with dignity. Okay. So they are talking about dignity here, like a life of having some kind of meaning to it. Okay. So here they are saying that any person can have such a desire to have a child, or you can say biological children, which can add value to their life and make it more meaningful. Okay, so considering that a right to life includes the right of a convict to have a child, considering taking this particular view on or you can say interpretation of right to life of article 21 of constitution, High Court has allowed this person to go on a parole, okay, with a bond which has been amounting to rupees 20,000. Okay, but the thing is here High Court has recognized a right of a convicted person to have a child. Okay, so here parole, what do you mean by parole here? Parole generally refers to a prisoner's temporary or permanent release. Okay, here the word temporary and or permanent release is important, because this parole can be temporary, or the release of the person can be temporary as well as permanent, considering in the before the end of his sentence, before the end of their sentence, in exchange of good behavior. Okay, so that is about parole, and this particular right to have a child of a convict, that is protected under right to life under article 21. Okay, so now moving forward. So there was I have taken this question because earlier in UPSC prelims there was this question related to right to marriage. Okay, so right to marriage is covered under which fundamental right? So considering that, they can ask about this as well. Okay, right to have a child is covered under which fundamental right? Okay, so that is answer is article 21, that is right to life. Hold on a second. Moving further in the economic section, the non-performing assets has been declining. Okay, so there was this report by the Reserve Bank of India, RBI. They have said that the gross non-performing assets ratio of the scheduled commercial bank fell to 3.2% from earlier 3.9%. So there is a decline in the gross non-performing assets. Okay, they have said that this is because of some kind of regulations which has been in place, and the write-offs. Okay, write-offs and the recoveries which has been made by the authorities. These write-offs and recovery amount to the decline in the non-performing assets. Okay, so the gross non-performing asset ratio remained the highest for the agriculture sector and lowest for the retail loans. Okay, so when we are talking about NPAs, these are highest for the agriculture sector, okay, and lowest for the retail loans. If you don't remember the retail loans, remember this, that NPA is higher in the agriculture sector. Okay, and this write-offs etc., which has been given loan waivers etc., which are given by the government at time to time, these has led to the decline in the non-performing assets. Okay, the asset quality of the industrial sector has improved. Okay, so industrial sector's asset quality has improved because they are saying that the GNP ratio at 4.2% at the end of the September. Okay, you don't have to remember all this data. Okay, because data will keep on changing when you are writing the prelims. At that particular point of time, you can just remember the data of what is the gross non-performing assets percentage, and then you can remember which sector is having the highest and the lowest. Okay, so after that, the reduction in the gross that NPA of a large industry which has been seen, then there is a term used, that is slippage ratio. Okay, slippage ratio is basically you can say when a performing asset is on the verge of becoming a non-performing asset. Okay, so that is slippage ratio, which measures a new accretion to NPAs as a share of standard advance at the beginning of the year has been moderated. Okay, so this slippage ratio is under control. Okay, I'll tell you what is slippage ratio here. So the slippage ratio is the rate at which good loans becomes bad. Okay, or you can say a performing asset becomes non-performing. Okay, what is a performing asset? Performing asset means if there is a loan, the person or the person who has taken the loan is paying the interest as well as the principal back. Okay, so that is performing asset. So what is non-performing asset? A non-performing asset is a loan or advance that is in default or arrears, okay, meaning that the borrower has not paid the interest or the principal for the period of a time. Okay, so there is a fixed period of time for which if a person does not pay the interest and the let's say principal back, then it is considered as non-performing asset. Okay, so slippage ratio is something when a good or performing asset converts into the non-performing asset. So that rate as of now has been moderated. Okay, write-offs and upgradations and the recovery contributed to the reduction in the NPAs. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about the personal loans, the personal loans are kind of risky because in those personal loans there are no collaterals. Okay, so that is why personal loans are risky. And then there are if we see the current condition, there is an increase in the percentage of personal loans. Okay, so we are moving toward a risky business now. Okay, on the unsecured lending, which are characterized by the absence or inadequacy of the collateral, such loans presents a higher credit risk for the banks in the event of default. As I told you, these personal loans are having less or no collateral, because of which they pose higher risk to the banking sector. Okay, the share of unsecured advance in total credit of the bank has been increasing. Such loans has been increasing which does not have any kind of collateral attached to it. Okay, so that thing. Other than that, when we are talking about NBFCs, we have seen in the past discussion as well as these NBFCs are basically going for such unsecured loans. Recently, we have seen that there is a trend wherein the growth of unsecured loans has been more at a more pace than the secured loans. Okay, so herein comes the problem. When the unsecured loan in the banking sector increases, they pose higher risk in case of default. Okay, so that is about this economy related sections which we have discussed. For now, you can remember that there is NPA which has been declining. Why? Because of the write-offs and recoveries. Other than that, when we are talking about secured loans and unsecured loans, so we are moving towards more unsecured loans. That is why there is a threat to the banking system if in case of default. Okay, and then when we are talking about the sector wise, agriculture sector has the highest NPA and current gross NPA is at 3.2%. Okay, so now moving further, which this we have discussed, non-performing assets and the slippage ratio. Now in the governance, there is this scheme PM Janman for the PVTGs, okay, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. We have discussed this scheme I think 2 or 3 times in the past discussions. So that is why this would be for your own read. Okay, in this scheme basically they have talked like how this scheme is different from the schemes which has been in place earlier as well. Okay, so they have talked that here in the start they have talked why this will be a good scheme or a good direction. And then who are PVTGs? We have discussed that these are tribal communities which are more vulnerable or their social economic indicators are very poor. Okay, that is why they need special attention. Okay, there are some 75 groups in 18 states and a union territory. Okay, so this is all has been given here. They have mentioned the population in 20 lakh. Okay, so that is because for the last census, right now their population would be around nearly 40 lakhs. Okay, so that is about the population and who are PVTGs. Highest number of this particular particularly vulnerable tribal groups present in Odisha. Okay. Now, what are their developmental challenges? As I told you, when we are talking about any kind of service delivery, etc., they are not part of that because they are away from the mainstream societies. They are having this shyness related to the contact with the mainstream societies. Other than that, they have different culture, etc. Okay, all these are the threat. Then, because of the connection which is there. Which is not there basically with the mainstream society, their economic problems they are facing. So all these things are given in these development related challenges and how they should be addressed. Okay, now what are the some existing schemes? So there are 2-3 schemes they have talked about here. That is Pradhan Mantri Jan Jatiya Vikas Mission. Okay, that is to relate this marketing things which are attached to the, let's say, forest produce, etc., whatever they are making at their own with the handicrafts, etc. So here they are talking about the market linkage of such things or minor forest produce. Okay, so in this Pradhan Mantri Jan Jatiya Vikas Mission, there are 2 components. One is to link with the market, second is to procure all those products at the MSP. Okay, so these 2 things becomes important. Then when we are talking about why PM Janman is different, okay, so there is a difference in identification process, okay, and then there is a difference in the approach which has been taken. Here we are taking a participatory approach, okay, that method of one size fit all will not work here, so we are going for the tailor made methods here, okay. Then livelihood promotions, for that we are going for skill development, etc., which we have discussed earlier as well. Okay, and then infrastructure development, as I told you that these communities are living away from the mainstream societies, so the basic schemes like Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana, etc., does not have a reach to that point, because of such schemes have some kind of population requirement as well, okay. That is why these schemes does not have a reach to that particular area. So now we are going for a tola based approach. Tola based approach here, in when we are talking about other schemes, we are going for the gram panchayat based approach, okay. And tolas, basically they are the group of small population living in a you can say particular area, okay. So we are going for the tola based approach considering these communities, okay. So you can read this article, I have highlighted it for you, so you can take a screenshot and give it a read. We have discussed this article 2-3 times. Other than that, Drishti IAS General Science Foundation course has been started. So if you are interested, you can go and call on this number 8010440440. On this number, you can get the information and secure your admissions. Now, moving further, dealing with the strategic realities, looking at the new opportunities. So this article has been in your explained section. Okay, as I told you that we are having this editorial analysis series on Drishti IAS channel. On that, we are discussing such issues in bilingual language. Okay, when we are talking about editorials, it is important to understand that. So that is why we are going for the bilingual language over there. Okay, so that is why we are not covering editorials here. So you can directly watch those series and cover your editorials. Okay, so today we will be discussing this particular topic in the editorial. Okay, now moving further, Egypt proposal for the Gaza peace. So these Arab countries, or these countries like Egypt, etc., has gone for various round of negotiations, etc., and now they are coming up with these proposals. There are two proposals. They are saying that Egypt is proposing the Hamas and the Islamic Jihad that they will be giving power in the Gaza Strip after all the permanent ceasefire is been in place. Okay. So Hamas has said that we will not go into go for such proposal. They have rejected it because they are saying that anything related to Gaza, we will decide on our own. No foreign country should have any kind of interference in that. Okay, they insisted a post-Gaza war future should be decided by the Palestinians themselves and not according to foreign dictations. Okay. Then there was this second thing is multi-state ceasefire should be there. Okay, with the temporary ceasefire lasting for the period of 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so when we are talking about, this is the side of Egypt, and Hamas are saying that they have talked about 3-state, you can say 3-phased ceasefire agreement or something like that, wherein there will be first 10 days wherein all the activities, violence like activities will be ceased, and all the prisoners, Hamas will send the hostages, children, elders and the women, they will release them in the exchange of the considered number of the Palestinian prisoners which has been held by the Israel. Okay, and there should be a delivery of the aid. Okay, the aid should be allowed to deliver in that Gaza area. Okay, these are the proposals right now. These are they does not have any kind of concrete outcome, just proposals. Okay, so I'm just saying that we are moving in direction where some kind of negotiation can be possible in the future, but as of now there is nothing like that. Okay, now moving further, Michigan top court says that Trump can stay on the ballot. So basically that Colorado court, Supreme Court has said that Trump cannot contest these elections which are happening in November 2024, but in the Michigan Supreme Court has said that he can go for it. Okay, so here when we are talking about the judicial system of USA, so we have something like this hierarchy. Okay, so there are US district courts, then courts of appeal, and then Supreme Court. Okay, other than that we have state trial courts, immediate appeal courts, and then state Supreme Court, and then Supreme Court. So basically right now this matter is here at state Supreme Court. One state, Colorado, has that said that Trump cannot contest the elections, and then Michigan has said that Trump can right now US Supreme Court has not said anything about it, so we will have a track of this issue if what US Supreme Court says. Okay, so that is about world affairs. Now moving to the practice question for you. What does the term slippage ratio refers to in banking? A, the rate at which interest rates change in the floating rate loan. B, the proportion of loans sanctions against the collateral. C, the rate of cash reserve to the total deposit in the bank. D, the percentage of loan that move from performing to non-performing status. Okay, so you can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Okay. Now for your mains practice, here you can see what are the key objective and implementation strategies of PM Janman. Okay, as I told you, we have discussed the objective in the first or second paragraph, and then key implementation strategies. In that article they have said that how this scheme is different than the other schemes. Okay, so wherein they have talked about 3-4 pointers, you can add those points here. Okay, supporting the welfare and development of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So you can start with the introduction to this particular community, okay, the number, etc., and give 1 or 2 facts about it, and then you can directly go to the PM Janman. You can define what is this scheme, and then go to the objective of the scheme, then implementation strategies, and how it is different from the earlier schemes. Okay, so that should be the flow of your answer. In the end, you can provide a way forward or a conclusion. With that, I'll wrap up the session here. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank you.